is up, you absolute beauticians? Julian here, and this is All In. And I know what you're thinking. Julian, you can't be a gamer. At 5'10", 145 pounds, and with astigmatisms in both eyes, surely you are an elite athlete who merely dabbles in games. Well, you caught me. Yes, it's true, I am an athlete, and my chosen sport is the greatest game ever played with knives strapped to your feet. Hockey. Well, you don't believe me? Bruh, I live and breathe hockey. All day long, I dream of putting the biscuit in the basket. I may not have the flow I once did, but back in my Bantam days, my lettuce was consistently in the top 2. I've been washing my hands this whole pandemic because my mitts are filthy. I have wheel snipe celly tattooed on my abdomen. Okay, not really, but I do play hockey as a goalie. And every hockey player watching just went, oh, that makes sense. As a hockey player and a gamer, I'm a big fan of EA Sports' NHL franchise, and this year's edition in particular, NHL 21, has a lot of updates that some players have been clamoring for years. So, as someone with an appreciation for both the game and the game about the game, I thought this was a good opportunity to take a look at what's coming in the latest installment of Chell, and who knows, maybe win over some converts to the sport of hockey. Come on in, the water's warm. Actually, not really, it's really cold. It's literally freezing. Now, I may be sabotaging myself because the first thing I'm going to bring up sounds like a gripe, but hear me out. NHL 21 will not be made for new consoles, just the current generation hardware like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. If you own other current EA Sports titles that are out right now, like Madden 21 and FIFA 21, you'll be able to upgrade them at no charge when the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X launch. The upgraded editions take advantage of the new hardware for benefits like faster load times, new lighting and rendering techniques, and enhanced animations. NHL 21 will still be playable on the new consoles thanks to forward compatibility, but without these perks. Now, this is going to sound odd, but I actually think this is a net positive. Net, it's a hockey pun. Okay, let me explain. Transition years can be tough for sports games because they release a new title every year, and developer resources that could otherwise go toward innovation or making the game deeper are diverted to porting it to the new consoles. The Chell development team acknowledged as much in a blog post earlier this year. So the pattern you'll often see is sports games that launch the same year new hardware comes out are hardly different from the year before, or even lose features. Instead of putting time and effort into making the same game twice, the team at EA Vancouver directed their attention to updating a lot of game modes, and holy Mackinaw was this welcome news. Take the Be a Pro mode, for example, where you lace up as a rookie looking to make a name for yourself. In past iterations, this basically just meant creating your player and then playing game after game locked in their skates and building their stats. While other sports titles were creating narratives and exploring other facets of the professional athlete lifestyle, hockey fans were married to the game. NHL 14 did try and expand on this somewhat with Live the Life mode. It wasn't much, just some text on screen that would present you with a scenario, and your choice would impact your stats. But hey, at least it was something to make you feel more like your character. The next year, though, it was cut from the game because, that's right, the franchise transitioned to the new consoles. This year, though, Be a Pro mode has been given a lot of attention. Now there's dialogue and cutscenes. You'll have choices like spending time with teammates, making bold statements to the press, or buying flashy cars and clothes. Choices affect gameplay in a number of ways, like getting more ice time or your teammates sending you passes more often. But it's a balancing act, and EA Vancouver's goal was to make you really have to think before making a decision. It's a nice touch that makes you more invested in your pro's career. I particularly like that the game gives you the option to make big, bold statements as a player. Fall short on your promises and you'll look like a chump, but deliver and you'll go down a legend. It reminds me of Marc Messier vowing, "We will win Game 6," and then scoring a hat trick to fulfill his own prophecy.
Do you believe it? Do you believe it?
That's the drama that makes professional sports so enthralling. Players who are drawn to the bigger picture stuff also get some welcome additions this year. Franchise mode now simulates the mad scramble of wheeling and dealing players on trade deadline day, and the long-sought record book finally makes its debut, allowing you to track how your players stack up against franchise and all-time NHL records. Some players can now be assigned multiple positions to make lineup management easier. So you could have a player that's a center/winger, or a player that's a defenseman/forward/Wookiee if that player is Brent Burns. If online play is more your thing, World of Chell has also gotten some love with tweaks to the ranking and season structure. The roster-building trading card mode, Hockey Ultimate Team, or HUT, has also been adjusted, and now larger guys like 6'9" Zdeno Chara won't have an easy time keeping up with smaller, faster players like 5'9" Johnny Gaudreau. And a new mode called HUT Rush lets you use the roster you've built to earn rewards in games that are more about style than the scoreboard. Of course, all this is built on one very fundamental thing, and that is the gameplay itself. The best thing about the NHL franchise by far is, and always has been, the gameplay. This time around, NHL 21 has some cool changes to make it even better. The AI is smarter both on attack and defense, so in theory, CPU teammates shouldn't leave attackers wide open in high-danger areas because they got distracted by something shiny. Small chip plays off the boards can now be used to counter stifling neutral zone traps, so you don't have to just dump and chase. They've added some signature moves like Kucherov's no-move deke and Svechnikov's rendition of the Michigan. Yes, that move is called the Michigan, and I will not be hearing any arguments on that. And for my fellow goalies, they've added some desperation saves to bail you out if you overcommit. So, no matter what changes from year to year, my favorite thing about this franchise will always be it's just plain fun, even if you know nothing about the sport of hockey. A lot of you non-hockey fans probably tuned me out the moment you realized what this segment was about. All the euphemisms for hair probably didn't help either. Oh, salad. That's another one. Man, hockey players love their hair. But even you can pick up a controller and still have a great time with this game. Sure, some rules like offsides and icing are going to seem arcane at first, but it's not nearly as intimidating as some other sports. At its core, the game is very simple. Put the puck in the net. Or heck, if you don't want to learn the rules, just play goalie. That's what I did. If I've convinced you to give it a shot, another hockey pun, then check out NHL 21 when it hits the ice October 16th. I'm Julian Huguet, and you can chirp me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at HugItOut.